Welcome to Spiritual Success, the podcast. I'm your host, Cynthia Stant. As a dedicated student of metaphysics, I have skillfully honed my intuition, mastered the art of meditation, and cultivated a disciplined spiritual practice that has led me to become a multi-seven-figure top sales producer. Today, I work with thousands of business professionals, entrepreneurs, and their teams to up-level their sales game and create magic in their business and life. On this show, you will see that all success truly happens when you authentically align with your intuition. So come, be vulnerable, be open-minded, and allow success to pour through you here on Spiritual Success. Hello, successful souls. So I really got inspired for today's episode based off a session that I had with my clients last night in the Spiritual Success program. Again, this is a 12-month program where my heart and soul, it literally is my baby, is being embodied. It's 10 years of education, working with mentor after mentor, whether it's a Reiki master, intuitive practitioner, going to the College of Metaphysical Studies, or legit magi, y'all. Yes, I do mean magicians. I am absolutely obsessed with understanding and absorbing and really bringing to my awareness the things that we cannot see. Just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it is not there. Gravity, for instance, right? Let's talk about gravity for a second. We all know what goes up must come down, right? But how did you know that? Because it's a law. It's a law. What do I mean by that? When we talk about universal laws, which is what we're going to talk about today, of course, and what came up last night in, the program with my clients, is the thing is the laws are consistent. They work for you the same way it works for me. The same way it works for Brad Pitt or a homeless person 3 towns down. They're always consistent. Some days you don't jump up and float away, right? You always come down. And the thing is, if you don't know how to work with the laws, they could be working against you, not for you. Have you ever fallen straight on your face? Yeah, that's gravity working against you. But at the same time, we learn to use gravity to build empires, to build amazing, magnificent structures, to work in our and move in our physical atmosphere every single day. Understanding universal laws is so important. It's really when I embraced what we cannot see that my whole life changed. I need to remind you, the things that you can see, the things that you are witnessing here in the physical, they are the last phase of manifestation. Everything that is here in the physical had to go through the spiritual realm, through the mental realm, and then into the physical. So what you see in the physical isn't actually showing you who you are. It's showing you who you were. All your past thoughts, actions, feelings, they all aligned to get you to where you're at here in the physical now as the aligned result. And so if you want to change the future, we need to work with the spiritual and the mental realms, utilizing universal laws that work on all of the different planes in order to change what is here in our physical. Manifestation, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Conscious manifestation. But there is something that I wanted to bring up when it comes to universal laws. I had an aha moment last night when my dear client, Raven, hi Raven, thank you for this inspiration today. She kind of brought up a question that I thought was really wonderful. And the way that I explained it to her, I was like, this is good. My listeners need to kind of hear this too. Is that very often in religion, when we're growing up, no matter what our background is, we have different perceptions and different ideas, and there's all these different stories. And what is really important is that for me, it's really just finding my truth. People ask me all the time, Cynthia, like, are you religious or are you spiritual? And is your teachings going to affect my religious background? The answer is no, of course not. I'm never here to put my stuff on anybody, right? And I don't let other people put their stuff on me. What I like to do is go hear everybody's story and honor their perspective. But take what I feel feels right for me and then pass on the things that don't. But really question why I say that. Am I being judgmental? Am I cutting off too quickly? Or am I really, asking the right questions, expanding my awareness and really finding what resonates with me? So my spirituality is my truth. I look at all the different religions. I study all of them. I listen to everybody and I find the common thread. between them all. And that common thread is what resonates with me. That is my truth. That is my spirituality. So when it comes to faith, a lot of times we grew up with the concept of God. I believe in God. I believe you can call God whatever you want. You're the boss. You get to label things. So you can call it CEO. God is the CEO. You can say that, it's God, it's source, it's universe. It doesn't matter. It's spirit, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes you hear me change it up just to show you it's a label. But we'll say God in this, for instance. But a lot of times when we're growing up and you were taught the concept of God, we're very often taught usually masculine, but at the same time, like super loving, unconditional, is your friend, like your father or your mother, like depending on, where you come from and what you were taught. But the thing is, yes, I do believe that. I believe source, where we come from, God, is unconditionally loving. But with that, we need to understand the laws are not necessarily God. Laws are physics. It's not a philosophy. It is physics that govern the universe. Yes, science. And if you're not aware of these laws, again, they can be working against you and not for you. And that's why it's so important to expand your awareness and to educate yourself so that you can be in alignment and in flow and being in charge and not falling on your face, right? Now, many of us do fall on our face, and we fall on our face over and over and over again, which actually, in my opinion, is a blessing. First of all, I call this looping. If you are looping, what looping means is that the same scenario keeps coming up over and over. Now, if you allow the same scenario to come up over and over again, well, first of all, that means you're insane, right? Because the definition of sanity is to do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. But what it shows me is that the universal laws are real. If I haven't changed anything on the outside, nothing on the outside is changing either. Good. It's proof that if I do the inner work and I do the energy work and I do the spiritual work and I do the mindset work and I shift all these things on the inside, the manifestations on the outside will match that and change as well. But what is interesting about universal law, and this is where my client Raven comes in, she was saying, what? It's really interesting when you think of God as unconditionally loving, but then you could look at the universal laws. It kind of seems like they don't give a damn. They're very neutral, aren't they? And I was like, yeah, exactly. I mean, think about it. Some people work their entire lives to be wealthy, and they do it ethically, and they do what they feel is right and good, and they serve, and they don't hit it. And there's some people, look at drug lords, for instance. They make tons of money. But we could all agree that's most likely not the ethical way to do things. But somehow they still make the money. Why them? Why them? Because I'll tell you why, because the universe does not care. Universal laws are neutral. They don't believe in good. They don't believe in bad. They don't believe in right. They don't believe in fact, they don't believe in anything. They just are. And if you know them and you work with them, you can command them. Knowing the universal laws is knowing the recipe to success. But it's important to understand that they are neutral. They don't label. You put an order out, you get the order back. My friend Kathleen, I heard her say the other day, it's like Universe Prime. You put an order out there, and 2 days later, it's going to show up. So when it's working with universal law, the best way to do it is, first of all, stop trying. We don't try, we don't dabble, we don't figure out. Knowing that the universal laws are neutral, the best way to work with them is with a controlled, disciplined, neutral mind. When you are able to shut off your thoughts, let go of resistance, ground yourself, be present within your body, but really create resistance to the point that nothing is permeating your mind. And you're not judging and you're not labeling, but actually seeing things that are there in front of you and being observant. This is when you start seeing everything. Because it's right there, there, right in front of you. You ask, you believe, if you follow me, you make room, right? And then you receive. You do receive. As soon as you ask, the answer is revealed. But are you looking at it correctly? Most likely not. Most likely your mind is filled with so many thoughts and things that you have to do, and meetings about meetings before you have the meetings, and the kids' soccer practice and the doctor's appointments and all these other things, and these, you have to meet with your clients, you have to meet with your employees and the team meetings and all these things, right? I know you do that. But if you're able to discipline your mind and start really controlling your thoughts so your thoughts are not controlling you, what I want you to do is be able to not only be able to do it while you're meditating, but live in a meditative state. Be aware, expand your awareness, and really be able to observe things that are in front of you, because that is how the universe sees it. The universal laws, just observe. They don't have an opinion. They don't care. They're neutral. So if you can train your mind to be in a meditative state, it means that you can be neutral. And if you can be neutral while being in an awakened state, magic will be revealed to you. You will see things through the eyes of the universe. This is why it's so important. I know you have a million things that you have going on and all these things you have to do. Trust me, I get it. I get more done in a day than most people get done in a month, and I do mean that. I have a lot going on. I run 2 companies. I have a rental portfolio. I have 2 children, all the extracurricular activities, right? I have a team of employees. Like, I have things to do, but at the same time, I know that I need to feed my soul. Just like I feed my body with food and water, I need to discipline my time. And if you hear the word discipline and it triggers you and it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, this is punishment, no, you need to really, really relabel that, because discipline is freedom. When you can see through the eyes of the universe, doors open up. Literally, you will have breadcrumbs just mapped out, showing you like neon signs. This is where you're supposed to be. No more 80-20, where 80% of the stuff you're doing is getting 20% results. I want you to do 20% of those things and get 80% results. How does that happen? When you see a clear path. How do you do that? Actually open your eyes and be neutral, be present, be in the now. Because the universe is always in the now. Time doesn't exist. Here in the physical, we've created it so that we can, communicate to each other as humans. But I'm telling you, there is no good, there is no bad. There isn't. And if you can learn to be neutral, you're going to realize the universal laws are real. And you'll start asking the right questions. You'll be expanding your awareness. My life changed when I discovered the universal laws. In particular, the one that really inspired me was the law of gender. Obviously, my branding is all about inner feminine beast, right? Feminine beast. It's understanding the feminine, the masculine within me, depolarizing and really being neutral between those two that allowed me to manifest here in the physical. Gender is in every single realm. But for me, when I really mastered that one, I started creating miraculous things. Just like, think about it, feminine and masculine energy creates life in the physical, right? Well, I was making my dreams come true by mastering my own inner feminine and masculine energy. It's the neutrality of it, the depolarizing of it, the awareness of it, the observing of it that allows it to happen. Allows, not tries. No trying, no figuring out, no someday I'll, no, we don't do that. You own it, you claim it, you be it. And when you are it, it's done. Poof, just like magic, it shows up. So I really would love for you to be studying the universal laws. Going back to my trainings, I really deeply looked into the Kabbalion, all about the Hermetic philosophies and laws. Something I walk my clients through, really in-depth trainings on universal laws. Because when you master these, you can become a better businesswoman. You become a better leader. You become a better parent, a better wife, sister, sibling, relationships. You understand your physical body. You become aligned and flow. It's like sitting on a tube, right? That's what I say. And floating down in flow, not swimming up, drowning, struggling. Y'all, I got a tube. You can come sit with me. We're serving margaritas on the rocks with salt. You gotta have salt. All the way down. So if this is new to you, I would love for you to come hang out with me. Come inside the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. Even if you've studied before, come be open to it. Get ready. We're going to be having multiple workshops. I definitely feel a universal law one coming up because I feel it's that important. It is something that I teach in the 12-month spiritual success program, and my clients are getting huge ahas from it. So I want to share it with the world. So when you come inside the Facebook group, by the way, remember, I'm not here to talk about what I think you want to hear. I'm always asking you questions. I want to know what you want to hear, not what I think you want to hear, right? What do you actually want to hear? And so our next masterclasses, our next workshops, all the things are really being inspired by you, our listeners. So if you want us to hear, come inside the group. Your opinion will matter. And again, a lot of these episodes here on the podcast are dedicated to members inside that group, because we're reaching out to all of them. We're connecting with you. I'm having connection calls. My teams are having connection calls. We want to get to know you and serve you and help you to really have the most beautiful spiritual journey. And part of that is really understanding the unseen, taking a step every day into the unknown, and working with, not against, universal laws and concepts. I hope today got your wheels spinning a little bit. I want you to get out of your head. I want you to be able to surrender. I want you to discipline yourself to surrender. It's like an oxymoron, but that's the definition of flow. Discipline plus surrender equals flow. Flow means alignment with the universal laws. This is key. And it's not gonna sometimes work and sometimes not, because laws are always consistent. They work the same way every time. They work for you, the way they work for me, as they work for Beyonce, y'all. It's not picky, it's not choosy. They don't care. So once you learn to really observe, how? Through meditation. You can start as soon as when? Now, to change your life. Don't wait. Now is the best time. Now is also a really good time to acknowledge it, embrace it, and most importantly, coming from the Queen of Action, see it through. Catch you later, successful soul. Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really up-level your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.